2 a.m. toilet techs? The guests who can't find the Wi-Fi? Or losing $300 just because you forgot to raise your price last weekend? But what if AI could run it for you, the lost booking because the response was too slow, or a lack of a 5-star review because no one messaged the guest at check-in? A job with non-stop texts, pricing guesswork, and review begging. Running an Airbnb isn't passive. It's a second job, unless you let AI take over. The right tools handle guest messages, update pricing daily, and even leave reviews automatically. Less time glued to your phone, more money, better reviews. On autopilot, it starts with automating the stuff that takes the most time. Guest messages. Responding fast matters. Airbnb tracks how long it takes to reply. Too slow and your listing drops in search. But instead of living in the app, there's a smarter move. Use Hospitable. Hospitable is like having a personal assistant for guest communication. The second someone books, it sends a custom confirmation message. Before check-in, it shares directions, Wi-Fi info, and the door code. During the stay, it checks in automatically. After checkout, it sends a thank you and leaves a review. All of it runs on a schedule you create once and never touch again. Templates are smart. They pull in the guest's name, dates, property details, even weather if you want. Messages feel personal, even though they're automated. So guests feel like they're getting VIP treatment, and your response rate stays perfect. Then there's the review part. Leaving reviews is a hassle. And asking guests for one? Even worse. Hospitable takes care of that too. It rotates different review templates to make sure they don't all sound the same. Then it follows up with a nudge to the guest asking them to leave one for you. Hopefully you've done everything else to make sure it's a good one. This isn't just polite, it boosts your ratings and booking volume. Hospitable also syncs all your listings in one place. Got Airbnb and VRBO? No problem. One calendar, one inbox, zero chance of a double booking. Don't make the same mistake I made and book check-ins and outs on the same day. Leave at least one day in between the bookings. Once messaging is handled, the next problem is pricing. Set it too low and you lose money. Set it too high and you lose bookings. Trying to guess what the right price is every day? Total waste of time. That's where Price Labs comes in. Price Labs uses AI to figure out exactly what each night should cost, based on real demand. It pulls in data from nearby listings, local events, season trends, and historical booking patterns. If there's a big concert next month, Price Labs already knows. And your rates go up automatically. You can set minimums and rules, weekends higher than weekdays, last-minute discounts, long stay incentives, no bookings less than 2 days apart. It's super flexible, and once you dial it in, you never need to touch it again. There's also a tool called Portfolio Analytics. It breaks down what you're earning per night, how long people stay, and which dates leave gaps. It even shows where your pricing is underperforming compared to similar listings nearby. Basically, it shows you where you're losing money and fixes it. Now you've got guest messaging on autopilot and smart pricing locked in. That alone makes a huge difference. But the biggest game changer? HostBuddy.ai. Boom! This tool handles real-time guest communication without lifting a finger. It's powered by ChatGPT, but trained specifically for your Airbnb. Here's how it works. You upload all your property details: house rules, Wi-Fi info, check-in instructions, local recommendations, parking tips, everything. Then guests get a number they can text, just like they're messaging a host. Except it's not you replying, it's your AI concierge. They ask where the towels are? HostBuddy responds in seconds. Need a dinner spot nearby? HostBuddy recommends one. Want to know how to use the thermostat? HostBuddy's got them. And here's the best part. If HostBuddy doesn't know how to answer, it sends you a text with the question. You can step in when needed, but 9 times out of 10, you won't have to. No app download for guests. No complicated interface. Just instant help via text any time of day. Guest? It. They feel taken care of. You get fewer calls, fewer messages, and better reviews. And the cherry on top? These tools don't just work on their own. They work together. Price Labs keeps your pricing competitive. Hospitable sends the right messages at the right time. HostBuddy handles live questions while you're living your life. It's like building a mini team for your Airbnb, except it's all software, and it runs 24/7 without a paycheck. This isn't about being hands-off just to be lazy. It's about scaling smart. Whether you have 1 property or 5, your time is limited. AI gives you leverage. Once all three tools were in place, Hospitable, PriceLabs, and HostBuddy, it honestly felt like I had hired a full-time team, except they don't sleep, don't call in sick, and don't need you to micromanage. Here's how a booking works now, start to finish. Someone finds my listing. PriceLabs has already optimized the rate based on demand in my area. They book. Instantly, Hospitable sends a warm confirmation message with a link to directions and check-in time. A few hours before arrival, they get another message with the Wi-Fi code, door lock combo, and parking tips. During their stay, HostBuddy handles everything else. Can we check in early? Where's the nearest pharmacy? Can we get extra towels? Boom, done. All of it handled instantly and politely by AI. After they leave, Hospitable drops a 5-star review and sends a little thank you message, plus a subtle prompt to leave a review for me. If they haven't done it after a few days, it sends a gentle reminder. That's it. No missed messages, no scrambling to respond, no worrying if my price is too high or too low. It just works. Now let's talk results. Before I used any of these tools, my average nightly rate was around $125. My occupancy hovered around 60%, and I'd get maybe 2-3 bookings a week. Most of the time, I had at least 2 empty nights between stays because I didn't adjust pricing smartly. Once I brought in PriceLabs, that average rate jumped to $162. Occupancy increased to 85%. My calendar filled out way more efficiently, especially on those awkward midweek nights. Hospitable improved my response time so much that Airbnb actually started featuring my listing higher in search. I went from being buried under dozens of other listings to getting noticed more often, without doing a thing differently. And HostBuddy? Game-changing. I went from replying to 10 to 15 messages per stay to maybe 1 or 2. And even those are usually just me stepping in because the AI sent me a heads up. Here's something that surprised me. Guests mentioned it in reviews. Loved how responsive the host was. Everything was smooth and organized. Fast replies made check-in so easy. All of that came from automation. The AI didn't just save me time, it gave guests a better experience. And better experiences lead to more bookings, better reviews, and more income. Let's break it down. Before AI, $125 average, nightly rate, 60% occupancy, 10 messages per stay, 4.7 star average rating, 3. 4 hours of work per booking after AI, $162 average nightly rate, 85% occupancy, 2 messages per stay, 4.95 star average rating, 30 minutes per booking, if that. Now here's the best part. The total cost of all 3 tools? Around $150 a month, depending on how many listings you have. But just 1 extra weekend booking at the improved rate covers that. And the time savings? Worth way more than the money. I used to feel glued to the Airbnb app. Now I can actually take a day off, or even a whole week, without stressing about missed messages or calendar screw-ups. There are also unexpected wins, like upsells. For example, I programmed HostBuddy to offer late checkout if there's no guest coming that day. It checks the calendar, and if the coast is clear, it tells the guest they can check out 2 hours late for $25. They pay it happily, and it's pure profit. I didn't even lift a finger. I've also used Hospitable to send follow-up messages with special discounts for repeat guests or off-season bookings. Those little nudges have brought in bookings I would have never thought to ask for. Once you realize AI can handle most of this business, your whole approach changes. You stop reacting to things and start designing systems. You think, how can I automate this? Instead of, how do I find the time to deal with it? And when everything's running smoothly, you finally have space to grow. You can use the time you saved to launch a second property, build your brand, work on your listings, or just enjoy your life without Airbnb stress buzzing in the background. These tools don't just make hosting easier, they make it scalable. Most hosts don't burn out because they hate the job. They burn out because they're doing it all themselves. So stop doing it all. Stop reacting to everything. Start automating. And the best part? You don't need to figure all this out alone. If this was helpful, hit that subscribe button. I'm sharing more AI tools that help you make more money with less effort. Whether you're running an Airbnb, managing a side hustle, or just trying to get more time back in your day. Let's get back to it. Most hosts think they're doing okay just because their calendar isn't empty. But there's a huge difference between being booked and being profitable. Let's break this down. Say you're charging $125 a night. You're booked 20 nights out of the month. Sounds solid, right? Now imagine PriceLabs bumps your average to $162. Same 20 nights. That's an extra $740 without lifting a finger. That's mortgage money, car payment money, compounding money. Now pair that with a late checkout upsell that's triggered automatically whenever there's no same-day turnover. Let's say 5 guests a month bite. At $25 a pop, that's another $125 of pure profit on something you didn't even offer before. You're now making $865 more per month just from letting AI do what you were too busy or too tired to do manually. This is the part most hosts miss: the opportunity cost of doing things the slow way. Every minute you spend answering the same question, copying and pasting another check-in message, or manually adjusting prices is a minute you're not spending on better photos, running ads, improving your listing, or, honestly, resting. Want another example? Ever notice how you get fewer bookings midweek? Everyone books Fridays and Saturdays, but Tuesdays? Dead zone. That used to kill my occupancy. Then I used PriceLabs' occupancy-based pricing and midweek softener. I created a rule that said, if Tuesday is 3 days away and still unbooked, drop the price by 12%. That single tweak filled 70% of my midweek gaps. Revenue went up. Cleaning team stayed busier. And guests on flexible travel plans loved scoring a deal. It gets better. Hospitable isn't just about message automation. It's about customization. You can tailor responses to guest type. If someone's staying one night, different tone. Week-long stay? Add local tips and neighborhood recs. Business traveler? Automatically send the Wi-Fi code earlier. Include desk setup info. The more targeted you make your experience, the more 5-star reviews you rack up. On autopilot. That's not hype. That's how the algorithm works. More reviews, faster response time, higher listing score, more impressions, more bookings, more money. Let's talk HostBuddy again for a second. Because it's more than just reactive support. You can use it proactively. For example, I programmed it to follow up after check-in and offer help with stuff like streaming setup, thermostat, or neighborhood tips. Guests feel like someone's checking in personally, even though I haven't opened the app once. And when something goes wrong, and it will, HostBuddy becomes your frontline buffer. Guest messages. The toilet is leaking. HostBuddy. I'm so sorry to hear that. Let me notify the host and we'll get it fixed ASAP. Now I get a calm message, not a panicked one. I can loop in my handyman without stress. The guest feels heard. Everyone wins. If you've ever lost a star on your review just because of how you handled an issue, not the issue itself, you know how valuable that buffer is. Want next-level automation? Use Zapier to connect these tools. Trigger a cleaning team email when a guest checks out. Add a review link to your guest CR. You can even set up a Google Sheet that tracks revenue, costs, and ROI by syncing everything. Now your Airbnb isn't just automated, it's systematized. It's a business. This is what big hosts are doing. The ones with 10+ listings? They're not texting every guest back manually. They're not updating prices in real time by hand. They've built systems. And even if you only have one property, you should think like a pro. Because the gap between amateur and pro isn't how many listings you own, it's how well you run them. Still worried this sounds too complicated? Here's the secret. All of this takes maybe 2 or 3 hours to set up. After that, you're done. Seriously. You don't need to hire a VA, build custom tech, or learn to code. These tools were built for hosts. Real people with real lives who don't want to live in the Airbnb app. And if you want to shortcut the setup, I built you a full plug-and-play checklist with my actual message templates, pricing rules, HostBuddy scripts, and even the onboarding steps for each tool. You'll find the link in the description. It's totally free, and it'll save you hours of clicking around and wondering if you did it right. Because here's the truth, this isn't just about working less. It's about running smarter. The hosts who embrace AI now are going to leave everyone else in the dust. Better pricing, faster replies, higher reviews, lower stress, more scale. You can run your Airbnb like a side hustle, or you can run it like a business that grows itself. You pick. Comment if you want me to walk through how to set it all up and save you tens of hours a week.